Before you're seen by the world, you're shaped in the silence, because what's hidden in private is what heaven plans to reveal in power. There's a reason you feel hidden right now, a reason doors aren't opening as fast as you expected, a reason your name isn't being called even though your heart is ready. What if I told you this season of silence is not a setback, but a setup? What if your hiddenness is not rejection, but divine preparation? In this powerful message, we're diving into the truth behind the quiet seasons, why you're hidden before you're used, and how it's all part of a secret, sacred plan working in your favor. If you've been feeling unseen, overlooked, or wondering when your time will come, this message is for you. Stay with me until the very end, because what you hear today might just shift your entire perspective and help you understand the purpose behind the pause. There is a sacred process that unfolds in the quiet spaces of life, where visibility is low, recognition is absent, and progress seems hidden from the eyes of others. This process is not punishment, it is preparation. Before any great purpose is revealed, there is often a time of being tucked away, far from applause, stage lights, or human approval. In this place of obscurity, a deeper work begins, one that cannot be accomplished in the spotlight. It is here that endurance is built, motives are purified, and strength is formed not by popularity, but by persistence. The unseen seasons refine more than just skill, they refine the soul. The absence of visibility forces one to confront the hidden parts of the heart. It strips away the dependence on applause, the craving for validation, and the need to be seen in order to feel worthy. In this hiddenness, there is a quiet training taking place. The external silence makes room for internal clarity. The noise of opinion is muted so that truth can rise. While the world overlooks, a greater eye watches every movement, measuring not the size of a platform, but the depth of the root. No tree grows tall without roots growing deep first. And roots by nature are unseen. Their growth is slow, deep, and foundational. The unseen season is when roots are growing, when faith is established, trust is matured, and character is formed in stillness. It is not glamorous, but it is glorious in the eyes of purpose. It is in this place that a person learns to obey in silence, to serve without thanks, to sacrifice without being praised. These are the marks of someone being prepared, not for a moment, but for a mission. The longer the hiddenness, the stronger the foundation. Many desire elevation, but skip the excavation. But anything that will stand tall must first be dug deep. And so in this hidden season, preparation is happening on a level that few understand, but many admire once revealed. The strength to carry the future does not come from visibility, but from invisibility. From being formed where no one is watching, so that when everyone is, there will be something unshakable within. There is a protection that comes with being hidden, though it often feels like rejection. In a world that celebrates early exposure and instant recognition, the quiet concealment of a life not yet revealed can seem like delay or denial, but in truth, it is mercy. Exposure too soon can crush what has not yet been fortified. The weight of visibility requires a foundation strong enough to carry it. Without that foundation, the very thing one desires can become the very thing that destroys. And so, before the public stage, there's private shielding. This protection is intentional. There are dangers that lie ahead. Traps of pride, snares of ego, storms of criticism, and even the seduction of applause that would swallow the unprepared. The hidden season acts as a shelter from these forces. keeping one safe from influences that corrupt before character has been tested. Like a seed buried in the soil, there is life in the hiding, even if it cannot be seen. It is in this sacred covering that the process of internal strengthening begins, away from the eyes that judge prematurely and the voices that praise too quickly. There are also assignments and callings that, if entered too soon, would be mishandled. Timing is not just about opportunity, it is about maturity. The delay of exposure is often a divine barrier, a shield placed around the unready so that development can happen without the distortion of performance. Being hidden protects the journey from becoming a show. It guards the heart from measuring success by visibility and instead teaches the soul to value depth over display. This is not punishment, but preservation. Even relationships, platforms, and positions that seem good may not be good for the current version of a person. The hidden season keeps one from stepping into spaces that require more than charisma. It demands wisdom, discernment, and spiritual weight. These are not formed under lights. They are formed under pressure, in silence, with time. And so the concealment is not only about hiding from danger, it is about hiding from opportunities that are not yet aligned. To be protected from the wrong thing, even if it looks right, is an act of divine strategy. What looks like being overlooked is often being watched over. The covering is not a cage, it is a cocoon, designed to protect what is still becoming. When the spotlight is off and no one seems to notice, a powerful process begins within. In that hidden space, a person is stripped of the noise that shapes identity through titles, applause, and opinions. The silence is not empty. It is filled with the opportunity to rediscover who one truly is when all external affirmations are removed. It is here that identity is no longer tied to performance, but grounded in something deeper, something eternal. Without the pressure to impress, there is space to grow roots in truth and not in perception. It is in this silence that clarity is born. This process of finding identity away from visibility is one of the most essential journeys for anyone called to a purpose greater than themselves. The public eye has a way of distorting who a person thinks they are. Applause can create false confidence, while criticism can destroy fragile self-worth. When hidden, there are no crowds to cheer or critics to fear, only the quiet voice within that begins to rise. That voice, when untethered from the demand to perform, begins to ask real questions. Who am I without the title? What do I believe when no one is watching? What defines me when success cannot be measured by numbers? The hidden season confronts every identity that has been built on activity. It separates worth from work. It challenges the idea that significance comes from being seen. This season can feel like being lost, but in truth, it is the first time one is truly being found. The masks fall away, the striving ceases, and authenticity begins to take shape. A person who finds themselves here begins to live from truth, not perform. That kind of identity can weather storms, criticism, and failure because it is not dependent on outcomes. It is rooted in something unshakable. In this quiet becoming, confidence begins to rise. Not a loud, arrogant kind, but the kind forged in stillness and struggle. A strength that says, even if I am never seen, I still have value. Even if I am not celebrated, I still carry purpose. That revelation cannot be borrowed from a sermon or imitated from someone else's journey. It must be lived, wrestled, and received in the place of obscurity. Hiddenness becomes the birthplace of unshakable identity, not because others define it, but because it has been discovered in the absence of noise. In the quiet seasons where no applause is heard and no spotlight shines, a different kind of test unfolds, one that doesn't measure performance, but faithfulness. When everything seems still, when doors remain closed and recognition is nowhere to be found, the heart is tested in ways no public stage could ever reveal. It is in these silent spaces that consistency becomes sacred. The question is no longer how loud the praise is, but how steady the walk remains when no one is watching. The soul is trained in devotion, not for the sake of approval, but out of genuine love and obedience. There is a refining that takes place when the crowd is absent. Without an audience to impress, the motives of the heart rise to the surface. Every act of service, every quiet prayer, every unseen sacrifice begins to matter in a deeper way. The hidden season calls for purity of heart because there is nothing external to gain. There is no platform to build, no applause to earn, only the call to remain faithful with what is in hand. This kind of faithfulness develops spiritual weight, the kind that isn't built overnight, but through daily surrender and silent endurance. The silence is not punishment, but a proving ground. It reveals whether obedience is tied to outcomes or if it is rooted in trust. Will the hand still work when there is no one to see the labor? Will the voice still pray when there is no public affirmation? Will the heart still worship when it feels forgotten? These questions are not answered in crowds, but in closets. Not in recognition, but in reverence. And it is in this hidden obedience that the foundation is laid for something that will not crumble under pressure. Time spent in the quiet is not wasted. Every unnoticed act is recorded. Every moment of perseverance is planting seeds that will bloom in a future season. Faithfulness in obscurity is never for nothing. It builds a person who can be trusted, who is not driven by popularity, but by purpose. What is forged in silence cannot be shaken by noise. And so the silent season, though lonely, becomes holy. It teaches the soul that faithfulness matters more than fame, and that what is done in the secret place holds greater power than what is seen on the surface. Now, timing carries a weight that many overlook. There is a plan unfolding far beyond what the eye can see, and hiddenness is often the tool used to bring a life into perfect alignment with that plan. To move ahead of the right time is to enter spaces unprepared, carrying a purpose not yet fully formed. To be hidden is not to be forgotten. It is to be held back for a moment that has been prepared in advance. Delay is not denial. It is a strategy. It is an act of divine precision, where every moment of waiting is part of a greater unveiling that cannot be rushed. There is a rhythm to destiny that doesn't follow human calendars. It operates on a timeline where growth is measured by depth, not speed. The hidden season trains patience and surrender, two qualities that cannot be learned in the spotlight. When one is hidden, it feels as though time is passing by and opportunities are being missed, but in truth, the preparation being done in the shadows is aligning a person with moments they cannot yet see. Every unseen day is building the character required for the visible day to come. Rushing that process only risks entering a space without the inner strength to remain. Alignment means being in the right place at the right time with the right heart. Hiddenness ensures that the person being prepared is not only ready for the opportunity, but that the opportunity is also ready for the person. This synchronization cannot be manufactured. It is revealed through trust. The hidden season forces a surrender of control, a laying down of personal timelines, and an acceptance that waiting is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is a refining fire that burns away impatience, pride, and self-promotion. so that humility and clarity can rise. Sometimes the waiting feels long because what is coming is weighty. The hidden time stretches faith, but it also enlarges capacity. What feels like a pause is often a setup for acceleration. When the moment comes, the one who has been hidden will not only be ready, they will be needed. The timing of their emergence will match the readiness of their soul. And when everything aligns, it will be clear that the waiting was never wasted and the hiding was never random. It was the precise positioning of a life meant to carry something sacred. There is a mystery in the way preparation often feels like isolation. Just before great purpose is revealed, there is almost always a season of silence, a place where the soul is pulled away from comfort and visibility into a deeper process. This is not abandonment, it is equipping. The hidden season is where tools are placed in your hands that you didn't even know you needed. It is a place of divine strategy where strength is being formed in secret and the weight of future responsibility is being matched with the strength of inner resilience. The greater the call, the deeper the preparation must go. It is tempting to see isolation as inactivity, but in truth, it is the most active part of the journey. It is where endurance is stretched, where wisdom is carved out of difficulty, and where spiritual muscles are built through repeated acts of unseen obedience. This is where private battles are fought and won, and where the confidence to lead, speak, or serve with boldness is born. It is the sacred space where faith is no longer theory but reality, is where the lessons come without applause and where victories come without trophies, yet they shape a person for something much bigger than they understand at the time. Elevation does not begin on platforms, it begins in hidden places. Long before anyone sees the fruit, there are roots being formed that will hold up the weight of future impact. Those roots are grown through trial, disappointment, discipline, and 1,000 small choices to keep going when quitting feels easier. These are not wasted moments, they are essential. The strength gained in isolation is the kind that sustains through pressure. It is not flashy, but it is unshakable. And when the time comes to step forward, that hidden strength will carry the weight of influence with grace and integrity. What often feels like delay is preparation for dimensions of purpose that require more than talent, they require depth. When doors finally open, they will not open because of ambition, but because the person is now equipped to walk through them with courage and wisdom. The season of hiding is not about withholding, it is about ensuring that what has been prepared in secret can withstand the exposure of public assignment. Whatever is being built in the dark is what will shine in the light, not because it was rushed, but because it was ready. There is a divine wisdom behind the seasons of hiddenness, those long, quiet stretches where it seems nothing is moving, nothing is seen, and perhaps even nothing is changing. But in those very moments, the deepest work is being done. It is there that strength is forged, identity is secured, character is refined, and the heart is aligned with a higher timing. The hiding is not a rejection, it is protection, preparation, and positioning. It is a sacred strategy, designed not to delay destiny, but to ensure that when purpose is revealed, it is carried with humility, maturity, and power. What is hidden now is being shaped for what will shine later. So do not despise the silence, the obscurity, or the waiting. Embrace it, because behind the curtain, there is a plan unfolding that will make sense in time. And when it is revealed, the world will not just see what you can do, but who you've become. Thank you, message. Thank you for giving me the honor to share this word with you today. May you leave encouraged, strengthened, and reminded that even in your hidden seasons, you are not forgotten. You are being faithfully prepared for something greater than you can imagine. Stay faithful, stay ready. Your time is coming.